Hey everybody, one of Wisdom here. We've got Wildfire in his upgrade modes here. Of course, cool thing with Wildfire, I've got Dark Wildfire, and that means we get to check out both paths with different characters. He is a line made out of gold, so while black and silver is an awesome aesthetic, the darks are a great concept. I went ahead, I let Wildfire take the path that I think I would prefer the most, which was Shield Slasher. That turned out to be an epically awesome path. They basically advertise it as 1, 2, and 3 each being a combo attack, and they don't bother to mention that the base damage just from this, the primary attack, actually goes up every single time. So it's interesting. Now right here we have one more to get, because I think in the base upgrades I was under the impression that this right here, you know, it basically changes over. I had to go to a chapter to document damage on the burning enemies. It's insignificant. I mean, it's like low numbers, but it's 255, 382 on the explosion. If you know right now, he's still doing the standard damage numbers. And I guess I missed it. I could have sworn I thought it was the same. But when I buy this last base upgrade, which is Hotter Heat Shield, those numbers should increase. And then we'll kind of take it from there. But I'm going to take Dark Wildfire down Chain Champion. Where we sit with Chain Champion, we basically had the primary one, which looked very similar to this. It would pull in 3 enemies. It did 6 to 9 damage. And then when you get the base upgrade number 2, Extra Chains, you can pull 4 enemies in at once. You can actually kind of see the 4 strands there. And as you can see, the damage is 10. Critical side would be 15. It's got pretty good range on it, as you can see. There was actually the critical. It's very, very rare that you see that, but it does happen. So you've seen the range there. Let's go ahead and get this, and I'm going to confirm or deny that this increases the primary damage. But Heat Shield now burns brighter and does extra damage. So 936, I'll go ahead and grab that. Bear in mind, all this stuff, we've got 11 wing sapphires. So we'll get this just for research purposes. Now the cool thing here, Shield Slasher, if you're interested in that, take the link at the top. You can see the standalone video with standard Wildfire. You can also see my attack damage spreadsheet on my site or the Skylander Club forum. But for Dark Wildfire, we're going to do Chain Champion. Could be interesting if these do a lot more damage. They might come in very handy. And then obviously, I'm excited about Blazing Breath. It's an upgrade to his tertiary attack, which I think is pretty cool. So, Chain Champion, though, improves Chains of Fire attacks. So let's take that. First thing first, though, number 1, once we can move, you see that the shield kind of gained like little spikes on it. Something else I should showcase to you, he does have a jump slam attack, which looks like that. He does 117 right there, 175 on the critical side. Now, it's time. So that really does increase it. So, Hotter Heat Shield, I've got it covered there. It's in bold on my spreadsheet. So, basically, we were doing X 78 to 117, it's now 117 to 175. XX was 98 to 149. As you saw there, it was 147, critical 220. And then XXX, that last little spin part, if we can get it to work, it was 117 to 175. That is now 176 to 264. So that's a pretty pleasant increase. It'll actually come in very handy. But then there's our jump slam attack. So that said, we're going to now take a look at what we can do with the Chain Champion path. So lots of chains is our first upgrade. Chains of Fire can now pull 5 enemies at once. Price is $13.26. Hopefully that ties in with a slight increase. We went 6 to 9, 10 to 15, so if we could get up to like a 12 to 18, that would be pretty cool. Let's take a look at it first though. You can actually, if you take the time to count them, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the range is very good, 13. That's actually better than I was hoping. Now it's a question, half of that's 6.5, so would we have 19 or would we have 20? They tend to round down in this game, so if I had to pick a critical, I would say 19. I'll try to get it for you. I think this one will dock a little easier. But you can see it was 19, we saw the critical. Great range there. That basically encompasses like a segment or almost a quadrant of the screen. So 13 to 19. Again, if I could get maybe like this bridge is our midpoint, we could say. If we fan that out, yeah, I mean that's realistically about a quarter or more of the screen, maybe a third. So great.
Then press the tag button again to return.
It's not necessarily range, it's got good range, but it's like great span, I guess is what I'll put. Again, if you read the spreadsheets and they don't make sense, if you watch the videos, that should explain it to you. That's it, so that's actually kind of cool. Not a huge damage increase, but we will upgrade now. We get Blazing Breath. Fire Roar has longer range and does extra damage. Price is $17.16. We'll go ahead and grab that. I'm excited about this one. Box stock tertiary, when you got that from the base upgrades, it was 140 to 210. It was pretty much a close range attack. You can't, what's sad to me is you can't move, so it's up to 210 now. Critical on that. Let's see here. What, 105, so 315. I guess is what we should see. Let's see if we can actually stand here. So pretty good range, as you can see there. So that will get both of them. We'll just kind of stand here till we see the 315. I'll try it like 5 times for it. There is a bit of a lag with it. I mean, you basically have like a second downtime, and then it lasts about 2 seconds. Maybe, yeah, 315. Chaos must be our lucky charm. So 210 to 315. Increased range. Man, I hate Persephone's wings from this vantage point. It's just really like out of the corner of my eye. It's weird.
Ready for another magical?
Alright, they look pretty cool, but I mean, just, you know, I'm in a spreadsheet and I see like this blue flutter over there. Anyway, no escape. This is the final upgrade down the Chain Champion path. Chains of Fire has a wider area of effect and can pull 5 enemies at once, so no increase there. So I'm not sure why they even mentioned that. We already can pull 5 in, but wider area, which that's what I'm referring to as span, and $23.40 is the price. I guess we'll get it and see what it does. Like I said, I'd say it had like a quarter to a third of the screen covered already. Let's take a look at what we get out of it now.
Fire Claw!
I don't know that it's that much. I guess it is. I mean, it's a little bit bigger. It's not as big a jump, I don't think. But 16 to 24, that's actually worth noting. So 16 to 24, and then I'll put greater span, so our adjectives align correctly. And the good news is this one's actually been easy to showcase to you.
Good luck visiting the horrible sewer! You know, I feel absolutely terrible that you have to endure all of that filthy
bonus content for you
yourself.
Alright, again, that's because we completed Mystic Mill and we need to go to the Supreme Sewers of Stink, which was, unbeknownst to me at the time, the E3 level. They said it was a level, they just, you know, I asked if it was like level 1, they're like, no. And that's all I got, so, you know, still cool though. I mean, it's going to be fun to go back to that. That's it, it is time for the line form. This is Wildfire, Dark Wildfire, I should say, Soul Gem. Hold X to enter Heat Shield mode, then press X again to transform into a Wildfire line. Price is $31.20 with our discount. This is kind of a two-part attack. And note that it did change the shield there. Some people might not like that. I could see, like, anyone into flowers would think it was cool. Some people might prefer it because it's like sharp and jagged looking. Some people might like prefer the original just base shape shield. I don't know. So keep that in mind. I don't know that I'll use the Soul Gem much at all, unless it's just like incidental type thing. I really think Shield Slasher is the best path for Wildfire, hands down. But if you're inclined to take this one and you're like me, you've got Dark and Regular, and you're going to take it anyway, you know, might as well enjoy it. But the way it works, you basically come into shield mode, you press X, he goes into this line, and you can run around a little bit and then he just times out on his own. And that's not the Soul Gem. I guess it can be, if that's, you just want him to like run around for some reason. But basically what you want to do, you've got 2 angles of attack here. The primary attack button is what I call the swipe. It's going to do 275 to 412. And then the secondary button, which is, you know, that chains button, whichever console you're on, It's going to do 354 to 531. Again, it's kind of a pounce deal. So I'll showcase the swipe to you. We're going to hold X, tap X, and then press X again. 205. He does less damage. That's weird. So, wow. Yet another reason to take Shield Slasher. Man. So I've got to make a special line here in the spreadsheet. Chain champion swipe is going to be 205. Half of that, the headset's about to come. Half of that would be 102.5. They tend to not round up, so we'll just play it safe, call that 307. That is odd. It's almost like they're telling you to take Shield Slasher, if you want my honest opinion. So 205, man, I mean, that's crazy. I'll prove this to you, just hold out. So that's what I call the swipe. It's your primary attack button in Soul Gem form, line form, if you will. So now we're going to come in and do the secondary attack button.
Your next challenge awaits you, Portal Master. Talk to Flynn.
Let me try that again. Okay. There's our sword. Come on, man. Alright, here we go. Now the pounce, 264.
Inferno Claw.
That is a huge difference. Half of 264 is 132, so 396 on the critical side. If you think I'm full of it, and I'm just like, well, he just wants me to take the top path, he's trying to sway my opinions. No. I'm going to prove it to you right now. So, one more time, I'll do this for you. Shield, Soul Gem, swipe at 205. And now we're going to do it again. Shield, Soul Gem, pounce at 264. Okay? And jump slam here, 117. It's important that you see that as well. So that is his jump slam attack. Now, I'm going to pull Dark Wildfire, and I'm going to throw down regular Wildfire. Just recently, I mean, fresh upgrade off the presses here. Same night, same day, same crazy new year. You can see, again, he's got this little shield I told you about, and now, check this out. I'm going to do the jump slam. 157 and the burning, because that's one of the combos. But, check this out. Okay, there's the shield. There's the line. 275. 412. I don't know that I did have 412 written down, so that's a big deal. That's like a huge, that's plus 70 on the standard side, and then 307 versus 412, that's plus minus 105, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we come in and you think, okay, well, you know, they screwed up the numbers or something. I'm sure that pounce attack's the same thing. Dark Wildfire, who went down chain champion. We're sitting 264 to 396. Okay, 396 is our critical. So brace yourselves. 354 to 531. You saw it. We even got the critical numbers. It's like I'm supposed to showcase this to you. That is ridiculous. Very rarely do I tell people this. You know, I always try to be somewhat, you know, like, just here's what I would do and why. If you do this type of gameplay, or you're going for this out of your character, you can consider that. This is one of those rare occasions where, as cautious as I try to be with this thing, because I realize some people will hate Wildfire, some of you will love him, he'll be your favorite character, some of you will be like, ah, he's middle pack, or hey, he's in my top 5. Some people might, you know, be adamant that this path is the greatest thing in the world, and others are like, no, this one is, and here's why. This is something where, with what I do here, my Skylanders research, where I provide you the numbers, I crunch the numbers, I take the time to do this, hands down, definitively, 100%, I can tell everyone, take Shield Slasher. I'll tweet the frickin' thing, and I'll retweet it from the Skylander Club. Shield Slasher is by far the best path for Wildfire. It's not even close. It's not one of those deals where it's like, well, if somebody preferred a defensive strategy, or if you really loved this attack, it would be beneficial. It's just 100% the best path for the character. So much so, I will probably reset Dark Wildfire To be honest with you, and take him down this path, because I don't know that there's really any point in even having Chain Champion. Now, some of you, like I said, if you've got 2 Wildfires, if Wildfire is your favorite and you want to just have it and learn it and appreciate it or think it's more challenging, go for it by all means. But if you're just out there and you're like, okay, hey, which path do I take to make Wildfire the most beneficial he can be for me? Regardless of skill level, the answer is plain and simply Shield Shredder. I mean, that's it.
When you're ready to
Slasher,
learn
I should say, Shield Slasher. So, let me come in here to Chapter 2. That's kind of like my default go-to now for some reason. Sometimes I do like the latter chapters, but I'll just showcase it real quick. I'll let this guy go through the early parts, and then we'll throw
First order of business? How about we unlock that door over there?
I mean, this is just, it's hard for me to believe that it's that big of a difference.
Just use that sucker to open the big door.
Alright, so again, this is Wildfire, down Shield
Well,
Slasher.
how's about
I'll
that?
probably say
Of course, that
Shredder
means
a lot.
crossing
because
another
he's a villain.
enemy pit, but hey,
Bear in mind, anytime you're Traptanium, the damage numbers go into please, but just look how beastly this guy is, okay? I mean, I make like super quick work of this mess. Well, interesting that, oh, I guess that buzzer beak is out. Okay, he is. We didn't kill him. So, and now I'll even come in and, I mean, we'll do some of the secondary stuff. Like, he's just slaughtered. I mean, look at that. Not only did we, like, 3-hit Tussle Sprout, which he's way better when you play as him than he is here in battle. But he just eradicated everything, okay? So he is a machine, essentially. We'll hop up out of here, and then I'm going to switch to Dark for you, and let you see kind of him against the trolls and everything. To keep it safe, I can even go into,
I know why you're here.
you know, the buzzer beat battle, I suppose. So I'll just, it's easier for me to just use the same character here. Before I open that gate, I'll switch to Dark. It's just absolutely crazy that the paths are this, like, this big of a discrepancy between them. And again, like I said, even if you like, you know, the chains, you're not missing much. You know, what you gain having the Shield Slasher versus the chain is just, it's night and day. So, Wildfire's coming off. We're going to go back to the man of the hour, Dark Wildfire. He's probably going to be reset. If I take the time to reset a Skylander,
Bringing the heat.
you can rest assured that I stand firmly behind that action. So, he's only level 3. I'm pretty sure he's getting reset. Alright, what I'm going to do, he's got, I mean, box stock. I mean, that's actually a pretty good attack, so you could argue that. One thing, and the range on this is great, but let's try to just, I use the shield outside of the one time I showed you that, Wildfire did pretty well with that. But let's, I mean, look at this, the difference. I just took a hit there.
Looks like this
We
whole
had
area.
to deal with some enemies. We're going to come in here. These trolls will kind of be telling. So, again, my apologies on the XP. Even though I know I'm going to probably reset this game,
Holy
I still
guacamole!
have to play
Welcome,
it.
Padre.
It's just
Neither
bad.
are we.
This is not a bad habit.
Another
In
place
this
where
case,
a
it
bomb
is.
could really come in handy.
Okay, so obviously no one has an advantage right now. Once the trolls show up. Okay, so that's not killing me. You know, it takes several hits of that to do it. Obviously on Nightmare mode we would be even more of a kill. But I'm just kind of using that. It's got great range, you know, but the damage, look, that guy I thought was dead. You know, I thought we'd eradicated it.
In the line of fire.
Alright, so we're gonna come out this way. I've got I'm a tree stuck in my head now because I saw Marvel. Just take a look at the difference in the time it takes me to break the Traptanium. Pretty marked, if I don't say so myself. Now this is the buzzer beat battle,
Heating up.
and we're just gonna
Fire
check this out. We got some tussle sprouts. We got here. Eventually, we'll get the tougher of the enemies down. And bear in mind the Traptanium areas, you do increased damage, and those are going to be very important areas.
Fire claw.
So you're doing fairly well against those guys, but now that we get some really slightly heavier hitters, you can kind of see you like run into some problems. You're pulling them into you, and I realize you would be using your shield attack, but I don't want to be pulling in 5 enemies, you know, to a lesser shield attack. I can pull in, what, 4 from the box stock upgrades, base upgrades I should say, and then use the crazy shield on it. So, but that said, that kind of shows you this is kind of what a Wildfire down the chain champion path can do with just the chains kind of in action. I could continue playing here. I'm not going to make you sit through that, but again, I rarely do this because I know how sensitive some people are, particularly if their favorite or even their least favorite character. By and away, I mean, Shield Slasher is significantly superior to Chain Champion. That's all there is to it. So, you can argue it all you want, but I've got a whole spreadsheet here that backs me up. And if you want to use the spreadsheet, you can go right ahead, and there's not much there. And I mean, Blazing Breath, which I was excited about. I said this whenever I was up, I think in the base upgrade video, actually, I said it. Issue there, it takes a second to charge. It's 2 seconds shoot time, and it's one directional. You can't rotate, you can't spin, nothing. It's just if the enemy moves in that second of time that it takes to charge up, you hit nothing. If you could rotate maybe and do that, yeah, that would be a different story. But Shield Slasher, man, that's just the better path for Wildfire. So like I said, I usually don't do this, but I think I'm going to reset my Dark Wildfire and take him down Shield Slasher. So maybe they'll change, you know, if they ever do bring these guys back at some point in time, or maybe in the next game, you know, they'll tweak the numbers a little bit for him or something, but it's markedly superior in every way, shape, and form, at least in my opinion, and I think in the sensible mind of anyone else that's taken the time to watch this or research it on their own. So that said, this is Wildfire. This isn't a horrible path, but Shield Slasher is a freakingly fantastic path. And that's just kind of how it goes. So that said, for all the attack damage numbers I reference here, be sure to take the link at the top of the video description box. You can go to my site or the Skylander Club forum. You can see his base upgrade video. You can see regular Wildfire go down Shield Slasher. And of course, here you're watching Dark Wildfire showcase the Chain Champion path to you. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you are subscribed. You can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, whichever you prefer. And once again, thanks for watching. It's 4:30 in the morning, Friday, January 2nd, so I should probably call it a night. But very interesting things here in tonight's Skylanders research segment. So hopefully you enjoyed, and again, I will catch you back here for our next upgrade session.